Welcome to Dr. Kannan Pugarendi's channel.
Obesity management is a multi-billion dollar industry. Do you know why? 1 billion people are obese in this world and they are growing fast, not by themselves, by the number also. 640 million adults, 340 million adolescents. We didn't leave the children behind. 34 million children are also obese. So naturally, even if one person contributes $1, it's a multi-billion dollar industry. So it's a phenomenal change that can happen because your economy can be altered. Not about the economy outside, the economy inside. You need to understand the only organ that is under your control below your skin is the muscle, which is voluntary. All of them are involuntary or autonomous. They function on their own without our command. Now, this muscle can allow glucose to enter and store it as glycogen when it is in excess so that whenever you need it can serve that purpose. Now, if any other organ has to allow glucose to enter, it requires insulin, the gatekeeper. So if there is no insulin, there is no way glucose can enter the muscle or the tissues. It requires exercise which can gate crash into the muscle and supply glucose. So exercise is one that can change the whole picture for us because the muscle that is under your control constantly uses glucose, and through exercise you make sure that the glucose is used constantly and doesn't get deposited and be converted into fat. Now, can glucose be converted to fat? Yes. Understand, whenever the glucose deposit happens, say taking here example of liver, we have liver as the support organ for supplying glucose, and more than what the muscle can store, we store it in the liver. And the liver, when there is constant exercise, can be broken down to the during the time of exercise to give you that glucose. When we don't exercise for a long time and so much of glucose has been stored and further cannot be put into the liver and they become insulin resistant. So it is not because the student is worried about the teacher, is not worried about the teacher and fails to enter the class. The student doesn't have space inside the class, so he doesn't enter the class. So when insulin comes along the corridor, the blood vessel, naturally the teacher is walking, all the students will go in. No. Now, in spite of the teacher being in the corridor, glucose doesn't enter into this classroom. That is a cell. So exercise is one which will gate crash, which will force the student to enter. He's not bothered, he will enter. Whether there is glucose there or not, it'll enter. That's the good news, no? Imagine that you can change the whole scenario with one thing under your control as exercise.